Blessings in the peeps, and welcome to another GT7 video where I finally achieve gold. So today we're at the Daytona Race Course. We'll be using the Porsche 911 GT3 RS, and the time to beat is 1:47.730. Of course, I already did this track just to lay a base time to see how best I could do. Wanted the gold, to be honest. Ended up getting a time for bronze, but will not accept bronze. Into our 58,000 run, we enter this first turn here terribly, but we're still ahead of the Ghost, which is one of the best feelings I've ever gotten, to be honest. For me, being ahead of the Ghost is one of the greatest things because it's knowing that I can lay a better time. And here we are going into the second turn, or the third turn. Still ahead of the Ghost on flat out into this straight, noticing the stop markers, but at this part you can actually go flat out here into that turn and then brake here. I come down to 3 and coast around this corner, back on the throttle and into this straight, flat out again, brake here into this left turn, coast down in third gear and failure. Of course we go again. So here we are at the pre-lap part of the track. Notice the timer is at 0 and onward we go. So for this track I actually have 3 corners that gives me the most problem. It's that first corner, there's the first corner, the third corner, the fourth corner. So this first corner, it's hard to gauge using the controller. As you see, the car started sliding, but I so managed to get past the Ghost. This corner here is fine. This is another problem corner for me. So I come down to 3 and I try to coast. My entry and exit always messes me up there. But as I go along, I actually improve on that. So going into this straight, there I can go flat out here into this left turn. I actually don't need to ease up, but sometimes I do. Coming into this other problem corner, this right turn here, where I enter terribly, causing the Ghost to go ahead a bit. Ended up correcting and being ahead of the Ghost here. Coming into this other corner, this left turn here, where ended up staying on course and have to ease up there to prevent running into the wall, but going on to this straight. So as you see, I'm way ahead of the Ghost. My time currently is 1:51.158, trying to beat that. And this is the other set of corners going into this chicane, which is a group of corners is what they call a chicane. And this left turn here, then the right turn, then another right turn, and then a left turn. It was very difficult for me to navigate that, trying to maintain speed and trying to maintain precision with the turns. It was very tedious, but I managed to put down one of the best times I ever had for this particular online time trial. It's actually here we did a 150, of course, they're not accepting that because we can do better. And we go into again, and here we did a 150.2, of course, go again, and we did a 149, so we're itching down on the time, coming closer and closer to the 147, which is for gold. So here we are again. We ended up doing a 149.1, and of course we're gonna go again. And at this point I ended up using one of the Ghosts that was done by the best time in the world. I don't remember the name of the player, but the time that this Ghost did was 1:44. Not sure how they did it, what they did, what kind of juice they drink, how many push-ups they do, how many sit-ups. And you can actually see it in the results. I'm trying to keep up with this Ghost and it's just moving away, getting away from me. I'm trying to maintain my composure, trying to remember my braking points. I slid out there a bit. trying to keep up with the car. I'm trying to do everything in my power just to stay the course. Braking here, coming into this problem corner, ended up staying on course. As you can see, I'm actually 1 second ahead of my previous time, which is actually amazing. It should put me at a 1:48, but let's see, because sometimes the math is a little off. But let's see what the result is for this one. I'm actually doing pretty good here, heading towards this problem chicane. Left, right, then right, and then on the throttle coming out here. So if you look ahead, I'm not sure if you can see it, the ghost car is way out, gone, and I'm just trying to keep up. At this point I wasn't sure if I was going to do a good time or if I was terrible, but ended up completing the lap, hoping for the best, and at that point ended up doing a 1:49.0. Seeing this gave me hope, and with that hope ended up doing a 1:47.766. Each time I break it, I feel like I can break it again, and again we went for this record, ended up doing a 1:47.731, and of course wanted to go again. But at this time I actually noticed something in the replay. So some of the cars have this feature called DRS. I didn't look it up, not sure what it was, but it works like NAS. So I went ahead and configured my controller to use this feature. It's currently set to R3, and I ended up changing it for it to use L1, and felt like I could, based on what I've learned, I felt like I could do better this time. So this was me using the feature. If you notice on the right speedometer, you see this flashing red light. That's the DRS feature activated, and it's supposed to help the car go faster. Again, I didn't look up what DRS meant, I just knew that it meant going faster, and I aim to use it. As well as the DRS function, I noticed that the ghost car, or the lead car, they downshifted way more than I did. So some of the corners I would downshift to 3, like for example this, I used to downshift to 3, ended up downshifting to 2 here, and it actually helps the entry and the exit, because you enter fast and you exit fast. Same thing here, downshift to 2, enter fast, exit fast, and as you can see the results, I'm actually keeping up with the Ghost, which is my personal best, which was the 1:47. So going into this second to last turn, I must say, because the chicane is still coming up, which was a problem area for me. I found that I was actually entering the chicane too slowly. So what the Ghost car did, you enter at 5, I went in at 4 there, but the entry was with the most speed, and it's very hard to maneuver, but it can be done, and I ended up attempting it there and coming out with this result. This track was actually pretty good, I must say. It was, the turns, they seem easy, but they're actually not. It's very hard to maneuver. I've actually been at this for a while, so I ended up doing a 1:47.666. So close to the goal. Ended up going again using my personal Ghost and everything that I learned with the DRS and downshifting at 2, going on throttle, coming out of that corner. I'm not ahead of my previous Ghost, but I'm keeping up, which is fine by me. I set my Ghost to be ahead of me by 0.3 seconds, so even if I'm even a little bit close to it, I feel comfortable knowing that I might just take off some time. So heading into this other corner, I go flat out here, and coming down into this corner, dropping to 2, staying as best as I can on track, and exiting the apex on throttle. Coming into this corner now, which is this left turn, drop down to 2, end up back on throttle, and exiting this corner as quickly as I possibly can. flat out and keeping up with the ghost. So going into this turn, I'm in 5th gear, I should go into 6th gear. I'm just watching the ghost here, just don't want it to get away from me. Going into this chicane, the final chicane here, keeping speed as best as I can, drop down to 5, then 4, this left turn, using up as much as the track limit as I can, and exiting there ahead of the ghost. It was one of the that for me was a chef's kiss. It was the best feeling knowing that I actually went ahead and did that as best as I could, watching, of course, watching the tapes to see exactly how it's done, but to know that I'm able to do this on controller, it was good for me. And there we go with a 147.41, and finally I can rest. Oh man, it was a good feeling. I ended up just stopping there, because with this 147.4 I am now able to say that I claimed my first gold in an online time trial, and it's just a good feeling. So here we are, 147.41. Ended up saving the replay, of course, and if you look at the results there, the time to beat was 147.446. So ended up, was that 5.05 seconds ahead. I could go again. Well, it put me at 13,000 position in the world. I could go again and try to get a better time, but seeing this was actually a really good feeling. I wasn't going to go again and put myself through any headache. But anyway, that's how I achieved my first gold medal. It was a really good feeling. I'm gonna be achieving way more than this. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one. Oh man.